Yo, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Well, normally this is where I would go into my spiel introducing my channel content and who I am. Instead, I've thought long and hard about whether I wanted to make this video, and today I want to talk about white people and Black Lives Matter. This video is directed at my fellow white people. If the Black community tells me that it's inappropriate, I will take it down without hesitation. Because right now, there's a lot of attempts to support that are either inappropriate for us to do as white people, ignorant, or tone deaf. For instance, saying all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter. However, that includes Black lives, and right now, they're the ones under attack. Don't talk about our feelings in spaces not designed for us. Wanna DM your sister? Sure, go for it. Don't message your Black friend telling them all about how the current situation's upset you. Don't go to Twitter and talk about how heartbroken you are that this is happening right now. This is not about our feelings. Don't condemn the riots because people are protesting peacefully. They're de-escalating the tension before it gets to that. There are so many peaceful protests being undermined or sabotaged by news coverage, police brutality, and white supremacists that it is no wonder when these protests genuinely turn into riots. I can't support rioting, but I cannot condemn them either when I understand why and how it gets to that point. And don't say that you don't see color. Being colorblind is not an achievement. It is self-admitting that you would prefer to remain willfully ignorant of race and racial issues. I am white. My kids are half white. The other half is white Latinx, which, for those who don't know, means that my husband is completely Latinx, he's just light-skinned. If you're white like me, you might be at a loss for how to support, for how to help. There may be a lot of indignant feelings right now. Feeling like nothing we do is right or nothing we do is enough. I mean, I just told you a bunch of things not to do, right? Get over it. Black people have been asking for help, have been telling us how to help, have been providing resources and begging for us to listen for decades. I am so fucking glad that the hard bubble around so many of my white friends has been burst. But it should not have taken a video of a man being murdered in cold blood by police brutality while others stood around him begging for his life to burst that bubble. The police that most white people look to for protection, that the very day before George Floyd's murder, a white woman tried to weaponize against Christian Cooper, a Black man. Where I grew up in Tennessee, my classmates were pretty diverse, and we were taught the full horrors of our Southern history. How the slaves were treated, what we did during World War II, the atrocities committed during the Civil Rights Movement. But it still wasn't enough, because it was taught as history. But it's not history. It's today. It's our present. I grew up being white poor and educated in US history with a lot of diverse friends of different ethnicities and in different tax brackets. I thought racism was over. I thought classism was our biggest enemy. And I was wrong. Just having Black friends is not enough when we don't listen to them. Educating myself on the issues, breaking my bubble, putting my ego aside, admitting that I was wrong, donating, listening, signing petitions, boosting voices. It's not enough. Do you feel helpless? Do you feel frustrated? What do we do? What can we do? Take that feeling and amplify it 1,000 times over, and maybe we'll get an idea of how Black people feel. I can't even pretend to imagine their feelings of frustration, their anger, their feeling of helplessness, when everything that they have tried just hasn't been enough. Because we have the privilege of not listening. We have the privilege of turning a blind eye. We have the privilege of not doing enough and not fearing for our lives, not fearing for our children's lives. And don't come at me in the comments with your stories to try to disprove this. Because I have sat at home and gotten a text from my husband who was unjustly profiled by a police officer on his way home from work. And though I was terrified until he got home, the minute he was home, I felt relief. And this is not a terror that I have to live with every day, not a fear that I have to face often. Black people are being shot in their own homes because, oops, wrong house, and it is disgusting. We should have listened long before now. When confronted, don't say, well, I didn't know. Don't focus on, oh, well, I'm so sorry. Just listen. If you're genuinely doing everything that you can, don't get upset that your efforts aren't enough. Don't get puffy when they say that they need more from us. Give what you can and do everything that you can, because every little bit helps. Every signature, every tweet to boost voices, every dollar that goes to bailouts or providing supplies or getting legal resources, protesting, protecting the protesters, watching the live streams of the protests to bear witness. It all helps. But do not pat ourselves on the back like we have done enough. Until there is real change, until nobody fears for their life based on the color of their skin, it is not enough. I've linked resources down below. A lot of wonderful people have organized documents with lists of petitions to sign and other ways to help. I've also linked some wonderful Black creators. As a starting point for listening, I would specifically like to direct your attention to An Uncomfortable Conversation with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. Well, that's all that I have for today. I really hope to see you next time. Black lives matter. Sam out.